Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking epics. I talk about legendaries a little bit too much in this game. I think epics need a little bit of time to shine, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the epics that are better than most legendaries. Now obviously most of these epics are not going to be better than every legendary, but there are a lot of really bad legendaries in Raid Shadow Legends. There's a lot of them. I mean, there's almost 1,000 legendaries in this game, or at least 1,000 characters, and there's so many epics and legendaries that there's bound to be a couple epics that are better than a majority of legendaries. So I'm going to be highlighting those specific epics today, going through all of the factions, starting with Banner Lords, ending with Sylvan Watchers, and talking about what makes these epics so good. Most of these are going to be very worth building, and yeah, simply, there are a lot of good epics in this game. So the final thing I have to mention before I get into the video is I am not perfect. I do not know everything about this game. So if there's anyone you think I snubbed, someone that I missed, or someone that I overrated a little bit, please let me know down in the comments and I will try to learn as best I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's get right into it. If you want to get one of the best starts in Raid Shadow Legends, use the link in my description below to get a free legendary champion, Narma the Returned, as well as 3 amazing epic champions as you level up. Now, the way that you're going to do this is you're going to log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Then you're going to click the link in the description, register with a brand new email. Then you're going to launch Raid, complete the tutorial, and as you go to your inbox, you are going to be able to claim your first legendary champion. Next, you're going to get Anax, Uugo, and Mausoleum Mage as you level up. Please don't let this insane offer pass you by and click on my link now to get the start that you deserve. So starting off with Banner Lords, there are a couple epics that come to mind. Starting with Stag Knight. Stag Knight has been one of the best epics in the game since he came out, which is around the release of the game. Stag Knight is an insane champion for a few things. First of all, his A1 puts decreased speed. It's somewhat inconsistent, being only a 50% chance, but for an A1, that's pretty good. The real highlight in his kit is his A2. 95%, I don't know why it's not 100, but it's 95% chance of placing both decreased defense and decreased attack on all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown. This is an insane ability. Decreased defense and attack are some of the most important debuffs in the whole game, and he puts them out AoE in the same ability on a 3-turn cooldown, lasting for 2 turns. This is an insane ability. And his passive allows him to put increased accuracy on one ally whenever the ally has a debuff resisted. So he deserves to be on this list. Insane unit. Now, there are a couple others that might just barely make it through. I think Archmage Helmet is worth putting in the conversation. Turn meter filling on the A1. A2 attacks all enemies. Second hit has a stun. A3 increased speed, crit rate, and crit damage on all allies for 2 turns, 3-turn cooldown. Insane. Immune to turn meter. He's really good. Ursula the Mourner is definitely worth a mention. A1 is a chance of reducing a turn meter. A2 decrease attack and increase attack on all enemies and allies, respectively. And then the A3 is a really strong epic revive. It is a 5-turn cooldown, but it revives all the allies with 75% HP, heals turn meter, increased defense strengthen, and has an ally speed and doom tower. She's insane. Very good unit. And that ends off the Banner Lords. There are obviously some other good epics in there, but when it comes to being better than a lot of legendaries, there's no one else. Now we move into the elves, and I'm going to be completely honest here. There's almost no one that meets the criteria for this. There are a lot of really good ones. Tayrell's great with his 2-turn stun, AoE decreased defense. Tayrell's OG, he's great. He does not make this list. Burgess, amazing, has ally protection and a ton of buffs, and is very tanky. He does not make this list. Neldor's great for hard Fire Knight. He does not make this list. But the one unit in this faction for the epics that makes this list is Royal Guard. Royal Guard is still, to this day, absolutely insane. If you do not have specific legendaries that do enemy max HP damage, which is one of the best types of damage in this game, Royal Guard will do it just fine. His A2 is an insane ability. It is on a 4-turn cooldown, but it attacks all enemies and the damage increases according to enemy max HP. This is one of the best things to have. This crunches most dungeons in this game. And Royal Guard, well, you'll see him hit for like 500k in one hit, sometimes more, right? This is just from me as a player who got to like level 60 to 70. He was doing the most amount of damage in some of my dungeon runs because simply this is an insane ability. He also has a 4-hitter with a very solid chance to put decreased speed on the A3 on a 4-turn cooldown, and his A1 has a 65% chance of putting a decreased defense. Royal Guard is insane, especially for Spider, especially for Dragon, and quite a few other areas. Royal Guard is the only high elf that makes this list, in my opinion. Now we move on to Sacred Order. Now, Sacred Order is highly populated. I still think Sacred Order is kind of a mediocre faction overall, but they have a lot of epics, and some are bound to be good. And we start with Deacon Armstrong. Deacon is a very good turn meter controller. Now, he is going to get outclassed by some of your better legendary options, but he is still, in my opinion, better than quite a few legendaries. He is simply insane, and it's mostly because of this A3. This A3, it looks like 5 turns, right? But then when you skill him, it goes down to 3 turns. So it's just a 3-turn turn meter ability, right? Turn meter, one of the most important things in this game. You want to have as much speed as possible, and you want to have as much turn meter fill and turn meter reduction. It's so important. And Deacon both fills turn meter of 15, decreases turn meter by 15, and not only is it a 3-turn cooldown, he gets an extra turn, which makes this a 2-turn ability, which is wild. He has ally speed in all battles 19%, insane. A2 attacks all enemies, has a decreased defense AoE on a 95% chance, which is almost guaranteed. And the A1 has leech. Deacon is insane. And he's not the only one in this faction, because we also have Inquisitor Shamail. Inquisitor does a ton of boss damage. He is mostly a Hydra unit, and I'm trying to go more broad and less specific areas of the game, but Inquisitor is so good that I think he deserves to be on this list. A1, ton of stuff. If you want to pause and read it, go ahead. But the A2 puts out True Fear, insane for a bunch of areas of the game, very annoying debuff, but that's not really what this ability is for. It's for the Ignore defense ability, which is crazy. Not only is it 25%, it also ignores a further 25% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. If you get 3 buffs, he ignores all of the defense. 3-turn cooldown, hits like a trump. Now we get to the passive, obviously. Each hit fills the champion's turn meter. It's crazy, right? Inquisitor is amazing. I will also put Godseeker Neri in here. She is absurd. A1, heal the ally with the lowest HP. A2, attack all enemies, heal, and decrease the duration of all buffs on all enemies, and increase the duration of all buffs on all allies. 3-turn cooldown, great ability. And then we get to the A3, 4-turn cooldown, revive. Fills turn meter, resets cooldown on all their skills, and increases the amount of healing. When an ally is about to get killed, stops that hit from killing, places revive on death 1 turn before the damage is taken. She's insane, one of the better support champions in the game, easily better than a lot of legendaries. I think Phoenix is an honorable mention. I don't know if I'm ready to put him on the list. I hear Anchorite's good, but I just simply do not know enough about him, so I'm not going to mention him. And that is Sacred Order. Now we move on to Barbarian. Barbarians has, frankly, not too many great epics. We have Haikatoon, which is an honorable mention. She's great. When you get her, she's basically a legendary because of this ability right here. One of the better free champions in the game because she's your 30-day reward. Guidus Shaman, always been pretty solid, but the only option for me is going to be Farakin the Fat. The reason why Farakin is so good is because a lot of ally attacking abilities are reserved for legendaries. And Farakin has an insane ally attack ability while being an epic, which really raises value a lot. He increased crit rate, increased crit damage on all allies except this champion. Then all allies except this champion attacks a target enemy, 4-turn cooldown. He also has an HP burn and a poison on his A2 and decreased defense. He's insane, and he is the guy that I want to mention. Armina's good too, but I don't think she really qualifies for the list personally. And now we go to Ogren Tribes. Ogren Tribes have a lot of really good epic. And the main one I'm going to mention is an argument for a top 5 epic in the game. It is Uugo. Uugo is so insane, and it is mostly because of her A2. Uugo is one of my favorite epics in the game. A2 is an AoE, 100% land rate, decreased defense big version, and a very, very solid 75% chance of placing block buffs. But you might be saying, hey, Destin, this is not a 100% block buffs ability. Well, the chance of placing the block buffs debuff increases by 5% for each alive enemy. So it becomes not just 75%, but if you're facing opponents in arena, for example, it's a 95% chance. And not only is it an AoE with two of the most important debuffs in the entire game, this is one of the hardest abilities to find. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. This is one of the best abilities in the game, especially for epics. A1 is Leech, which allows more heal output on your units. And then the A3 is a remove heal reduction, remove a random debuff, then heal, and if everyone's dead, it revives them. And their passive is when she is the only hero left, you're going to be able to get a free turn, increase speed, and block damage, which allows you to get her A3 off and revive your whole team. She's insane. Now, there are a couple other ones. I mean, Siege Hulk is good. I wouldn't really mention them. You know, there's some other very solid epics in here. Skull Crusher is great, but Maneater is going to be the one I mention. Clan Boss is the most important area of the game until you've obviously one-keyed it, in which case you don't really need to care about it anymore. But before that, Maneater is just one of the better ones for it. If you get 2 Maneaters or a Maneater and someone else, you're able to do it so easily. It's kind of insane. I will mention him here. Moving on, we get to the Lizardman faction. And I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think I really want to mention too many people here. Aox, honorable mention, he's really good. He extends the debuffs when he gets hit, decrease attack, decrease crit rate, has a good heal and poisons. He does not make it. Jarrig is good for faction trials, not really going to be mentioned. And Venom Mage comes to mind as well. I'm sure there's some other decent ones. Personally, I don't think they have any that qualify for the list. Moving on to Skinwalkers, we get basically the same thing. I think Yuzan's great. I hear Kemptum's good. I haven't really looked into them. Fane's always solid. Basher is quite good, actually. Increases cooldown, but the same thing. I don't think anyone in Skinwalkers qualify for the list, but someone that does is going to be Tagore. Tagore is absurdly good, especially for faction trials, but also for a lot of other things. A1, increase defense on the ally with the lowest current HP. A2, attack all enemies. Increase speed on all allies. Speed, most important thing in this game. Very, very important. And then he also heals based off of this champion's max HP, 15%. You always want it to be off of this champion, not off of their HP. Very important there. And then he also has an all ally revive. It is a 5-turn cooldown, but it revives all allies, puts shield, and it's just really freaking good. He also decreases the damage received by allies with 50% HP or less by 10%. He is insane. Sandlash Survivor is pretty good. And then we get to the best epic in the game, Seer. Seer is the best epic in the game. I don't think it's very arguable. She's the best wave clear in the game. And wave clearing is so important in this game, especially to get to the boss quicker, to clear through Doom Tower. The whole thing is this Karma Burn ability removes all buffs from all allies and enemies, which sounds detrimental. But then she attacks and the damage increases according to the number of removed buffs. And she just one-shots things. She hits like crazy on an AoE. It's wild. A2 crit rate weaken. A1, chance of granting an extra turn. It doesn't matter. That A3 is so freaking strong. There are some other good epics in here, but those are the only ones that I will be mentioning. Moving on, we get to Demon Spawn. Demon Spawn has a couple decent epics. Allure is great. I would say Magdar is a contender for this list. One of the better epic DPS in the game, especially an HP-based nuker. I think there's an argument to be made there. Apart from that, I wouldn't really say anyone else. Demon Spawn does not have a lot of crazy epics. But now we get to Undead Horde. Gorgorab's worth mentioning. Mausoleum Mage is very good. I would say Husk is a contender. I wouldn't put them on my list, but they are a contender. I like Anax. He doesn't really fit the bill, but I will say Seeker makes the list for me just because he has a 3-turn cooldown, extra turn, so basically a 2-turn cooldown. Remember what I said about Deacon being really strong because his turn meter ability was on a 2-turn, functionally? Well, this fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%, places increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns, so not only bringing one of the most important buffs, also one of the most important abilities on a 2-turn. He also has a provoke, which doesn't matter too much, and he also heals and places increased defense on all allies when hit with a critical hit. This guy is absurdly good. I think he belongs on the list. For me, if there's anyone else make this list, probably Vogoth. I think Vogoth is ridiculous, mostly because when he's attacked, places leech. If the ally is under provoke, placed by this champion, has a chance to increase the cooldown of a random skill, but it's mostly for the other passive. He has 2 passives, I know, kind of crazy. Whenever this champion's attacked, heals all allies by 50% of the damage received, only 25% from boss attacks. He just heals like crazy, provoke, decrease attack, insane. Vogoth is amazing. There are a lot of really good epics in this faction. Moving on to Dark Elves. I'm going to be honest, there's not a lot that really stand out to me. I think Madame Ceres is a good contender for this list. I would put her on mine, mostly because it's A3. It is a 4-turn cooldown, but it removes all buffs from enemies, decreased defense, decreased attack, incredibly strong. She has fear, true fear, buff steal. I mean, she is amazing. If you guys don't put her on your list, that's completely fine. Dark Kale is a contender for sure, but it's really up to you. Moving on to Knights Rev, we get Rector Drath, I would say, is better than a lot of legendaries. Rector Drath has an A3, revives only a single ally, 4-turn cooldown, fills their turn meter by 60% though, puts Perfect Veil, which reduces their damage taken and makes them impossible to target on them for 3 turns. Then we have Heal all allies by 20% of this champion's max HP. After healing, places Perfect Veil on all allies with full HP, places Continuous Heal on all allies who don't get full HP. A1 is a decreased attack, pretty inconsistent, but still a decent A1. And then the passive is whenever an ally under Veil, Perfect Veil gets a turn, heals them. He's just healing everyone. Also increases the resistance of people under Veil and Perfect Veil. Rector is freaking monstrous. Doom Priest is an honorable mention. I really love Sinesha and Skullcrowned. Sabata is pretty good from what I hear. Miscreated Monster was the GOAT for my account back when I made my first one. Thalessia's decent, but I can't really mention anyone else there. Now we move on to debatably the best faction when it comes to epics, Demitha. Amazing. On this list, easily. A3, 3-turn cooldown, places a block damage on all allies for a turn. Insane for guild boss, insane for a lot of other areas of the game. Just making it so no one takes any damage is crazy. And she also continuous heals. A2 increases the duration of all ally buffs, decreases the duration of all ally buffs. Oh, debuffs, sorry. Also heals all allies by a portion of their max HP, heals by further for each turn added to or removed from the duration of buffs or debuffs. A1 has a shield. Demitha is freaking overpowered. Next we get to Geo, which was probably a contender for best epic. I don't know if he still is, but he is insane. He's probably the best progression epic in the game, mostly because of the A3 in his passive. A3 fully depletes the target's turn meter. 3-turn cooldown, by the way. Fills the champion's turn meter by the amount the target loses, so he gets back almost immediately. Has a 100% chance of HP burn and weaken, 2 of the better debuffs. Passive decreases the damage all allies receive. Reflects that damage to each enemy under HP burn placed by this champion. Whenever he's attacked, he deflects the damage. When deflecting damage on each hit, has a chance of doing additional damage based off of their max HP. I've seen some teams in areas like Iron Twins where it's literally just block damage, and then Geomancer just sits there and he does all the damage to the boss, and you don't need a DPS. It's ridiculous. He also has an A2, which removes all buffs. Not really that important, but it steals buffs if they're under HP burn, blah, blah, blah. A1 has decreased accuracy. It's mostly his passive and his A3. There's some other solid epics in here. Cornelia's really good, I would say, but I'm not really going to mention her in this list. Those 2 main epics are absurdly good. Moving on to Shadowkin, we get a couple people. I would say Taragi makes the list just barely. His passive when he's attacked has a chance of placing poison, amazing for clan boss. A3 is a really good ally protection, shields himself and reflects damage, amazing ability. A2 is an AoE provoke, is not very consistent, but it's solid. A1 has a decreased attack as well. Taragi is incredibly powerful. Now, there are some other good epics in here. I love Genbo. He doesn't make the list, unfortunately, but I think I'm mostly going to go with Taragi here. Let me know if I'm missing anyone. Moving on, we get to Sylvan Watchers. I would say that Ornn definitely makes the list for me. He has so much solo potential. Passive whenever our poison's activated increases his stats. Then we have attacks all enemies, chance of placing 2 poisons and poison sensitivity, and heals for each poison debuff placed. A2 has a chance of instantly activated poison. A1 has a chance of putting out poison. It's pretty unlikely, but it's still quite good. I would say Croydon is a fringe making this list. The thing is, he only really specializes in Fire Knight mostly. I would say there's a argument to put him on this list. He's quite good. White Dryad Nia's also really good. Ally protection, remove all debuffs, attack all enemies with decreased speed. She's a contender as well. Ruella's good, but for the most part, I would say the main one is Ornn for me in this faction. Let me know if you think anyone else is worth. The thing is, a lot of these guys are really good, but I just don't really know if they are better than a lot of legendary. This is a very new faction for me, so I'm kind of undecided. But with that out of the way, that is my list. Those are all of the epics that really stand out to me as being better than legendaries. Most of these you should build really fast, especially stuff like Geomancer. If he's not 6-star already and you pull him, you're really missing out. A lot of these other ones, I would recommend you wait a little bit, see what you want to focus on, and then prioritize from there. But a lot of these epics are absolutely better than a lot of the legendaries in this game, especially when a lot of the legendaries simply are not very good. There's too many legendaries in this game. I'm surprised we don't have a fixed 50x banner by now. Instead, it's still 10x. Oh my god, that's a whole different topic for another video. Anyways, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe. I would certainly appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. And that's it from me, Destined, signing out.